It started with a fogged mirror and silence. Not the kind of silence that gently rocks you into rest, but the kind that stares back at you, mirrors your breath, and asks questions you've avoided for decades. My name is Eleanor Hart. I'm 67 years old. I live alone in a weathered colonial house nestled at the end of an old gravel road in Cape May. The house is older than I am. Its creaking floors and uneven windows have become a rhythm to my days, a pulse to my isolation. My husband, Thomas, passed away 11 years ago. Cancer. It was cruel and quick and left everything muted. Since then, I've grown comfortable with being invisible. My children visit when they can, and I smile the practiced smile of a mother who doesn't want to burden them. I keep a tidy garden, write letters I never send, and sit in the same chair by the window every evening with a lukewarm cup of chamomile. But yesterday something changed. It was a Tuesday. The weather was dull, heavy with the promise of rain. I was cleaning the bathroom, a task I always saved for last. As I scrubbed the corners of the mirror, I caught a glimpse of myself. Not just the tired skin or soft lines around my eyes. It was something else. Presence. Questioning. I dropped the cloth. I stood there looking. Really looking. Who was this woman with silver-streaked hair and distant eyes? When did I stop seeing her? When did I stop listening to her? I don't know what possessed me, but I walked to my bedroom closet, pulled out a dress I hadn't worn in years, a wine-colored one with a neckline lower than I ever dared to wear lately. I stood in front of the mirror again, wearing it. It felt like a whisper from another life, a hand reaching through time to remind me I was still here. I didn't leave the house that day. I didn't even wear the dress longer than 10 minutes. But something inside me stirred. Flicker. And the next morning I painted. I used to paint. Oils mostly. My children's faces, the fields outside our summer home in Vermont, the way Thomas looked when he was pretending not to fall asleep reading the paper. I hadn't painted in over a decade. My fingers trembled as I set the canvas, as if I were uncovering something sacred. Painted a window. Not mine, but one I remembered from my grandmother's house. The light in that memory was soft like lemon cream. I spent the entire afternoon building it in layers of yellow, white, and gray. Each stroke unearthed something else. A laugh I thought I'd forgotten, a summer I never talked about, the scent of cinnamon from my first kiss, the time Thomas brought home daisies just because I'd sighed at one. By the end of the week, I had painted 4 canvases. None of them masterpieces. All of them honest. The next change came slower. My walks grew longer. I started sitting on the porch again, not just to watch the world but to feel part of it. I spoke to a girl walking her terrier. I smiled at a teenage boy on a bike. I even bought fresh lavender from the farmer's market, something I hadn't done since before Thomas got sick. I started journaling again too. Not the cautious entries of a widow measuring her grief, but full, unfiltered pages. Thoughts about the way sunlight moves, about dreams I didn't even know I'd held onto, about Eleanor. Not Mrs. Hart, not Mom, not Ma'am, but Eleanor. 2 weeks later, I wore that wine-colored dress to dinner. Not a dinner party, just a quiet meal for one at the bistro by the docks. I tucked a shawl over my shoulders and went just before dusk. The waiter, no older than 25, said, "You look radiant, ma'am." I laughed, really laughed, and thanked him. I sat by the window and ordered lemon chicken and a glass of Merlot. I brought my journal but didn't write. I just watched the sea. I thought about who I had been and who I still could be. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. I'm not trying to be 30 again or recapture some version of myself that only existed in fragments. I'm just noticing, living, letting myself feel seen again. Last night I painted myself. Not literally. But there she was, in the reflection of a window I imagined, a woman standing with her hands in her pockets, eyes open wide, dressed in something soft and free. I didn't give her a name. I didn't need to, because for the first time in a long, long while, I recognized her. And that's where this story ends, or perhaps begins.